let's try those three chords together now, the G, the C add 9, and the D. And again, this is going to be the pattern you're going to use for the intro and the verse of the song. All right, and I'm going to count it in. We'll take it kind of nice and slow to sort of get you playing along. All right, so if I count us in about 1, 2, 3, 4, here's G, C add 9, and D. Again, G for 2 patterns, C add 9, and D. All right, that's the pattern they use for we're going to use for the intro and the verse of the song. And the intro is also going to be used within the song as breaks, and what you're always going to do is play through that pattern twice for the intro and twice for the verse. All right, and now the other section to it is the pre-chorus pattern, which is where he sings, "Let's make the best of this test and don't ask why." And the chords I'm going to use there, the only one that in this section that I'm going to use that was common to the intro and the verse is the D chord. But when I get into here, I'm going to work in the E minor chord, and then it's going to go to D, to C, and this is where I like to use the G too, because at this point, when I want to switch from the C to the G, all I have to do is move the middle finger and the ring finger up and bring the pinky down on the first string. All right, now the way our hands tend to be wired, a lot of people find it's really difficult to get a separation between the ring finger and the pinky. If you're finding that, if you're trying this and you're finding, it's not working for me, you can use the other G with 4 fingers, that's fine. But I always find that one of the things that I always try to do is I tend to sort of gravitate towards the easiest way to play something. And when I'm going from C and I need to get to G, playing the G with 3 fingers is going to be a really, really easy change right there. All right, so, and this pattern, just like the intro and the verse pattern, I'm going to play this through twice, all right? So what I'm going to do is, again, it's going to be E minor, D, C, and G2. And I'm going to play 1 pattern on each one. All right, so again, I'm going to count us in about 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor, D, C, and G2. Again, E minor, D, C, and G2. All right, that's my pre-chorus for the song. And I want to just quickly go over the chorus now, and then I want to sort of come back and give you just some tips on how we can sort of navigate these chord changes. All right, when I get to the chorus, this is actually, I always find it's the easiest part of the song. I'm going to be using the 3 chords that are going to be involved. I've used them already within the song. It's going to be E minor, G, and I'm going to do that again, E minor to G, and finally E minor to D. All right, and each of them is going to get 1 measure, and the chorus is where he sings it's something unpredictable, and so on. All right, so when I'm doing that, again, it's going to be 1 pattern on each of these, and let me take you through it, and then we'll go over tricks for the changes. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor to G, again E minor to G, and finally E minor to D. Okay, and that's your chorus pattern. And again, there's going to be no repeats on that. The chorus pattern, you're just going to go through it once. And then we're going to end up cycling through whether it be the intro or the verse or the pre-chorus part. All right, but if by the end of this lesson I can have you comfortable with the 3 sort of basic sections to this song, perfect. Okay, so now when it comes to the chord changes, you know, what you're going to find is, especially if you're dealing with new chords, there's going to be a little bit of a period where you're trying to adjust to switching your fingers from one chord to the other. I found that sometimes just playing through these chords without strumming is a great way to work on the changes. And something that I really like to stress too is the whole idea of common fingers. Like, you know, if you look at the beginning part where I'm playing the G, the C add 9, and the D, I'm going to have one finger that doesn't move for all 3 of those chords, and that's going to be the ring finger. See, when I go to C add 9, the ring finger and the pinky don't move for that one. When I go to D, the ring finger stays where it is. And then when I move back to G again, when I'm repeating, again, that finger stays there. And just doing those changes, again, without strumming, it's a great way to sort of practice that and just start to develop your muscle memory. Okay, now, when I get into the pre-chorus, this is the part that's got the changes that are going to be a little bit trickier. But there's a couple of neat little tricks I like to show people. When I'm on E minor, and I'm going to go to the D chord, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index finger and my middle finger, and I'm going to bring them down. I'm going to split them apart by a string. So I'm going to, instead of being on adjacent strings, they're going to be on the first string and the third string. And I'm going to have my ring finger on the second string. So I get E minor here, D down here. All right, when you're going to C, the trick to this, it's actually, I'm going to keep the same shape between my middle finger and my ring finger. Move them up to the 4th and the 5th strings, and then drop the index down. And when I go to G, or in this case, well, G2 as I'm calling it, I'm moving these 2 fingers together up to the 5th and 6th strings. So you're going to have E minor, split the index and the middle apart. When you go to D, move the middle finger and the ring finger together to go to C, and move them together again to go to the G2. All right, and all of these chord changes, I want you to keep in mind, these are suggestions. These are things that I found can really help move those chord changes along. If you've got like another trick that you find works for you, by all means, you know, but sort of like the end goal here is we want to get you to be able to go from one chord to the other quickly enough. And for the last section, the chorus, between the E minor and the G, which I'm playing with the 4 fingers, the index finger is not going to move. So that's actually a pretty simple change. And then I'm going to finish it with E minor to D. All right, now what I'm going to do just to sort of finish this up is I'm going to play through each of the sections. All right, and I guess what we'll do is I'm going to play through the intro or the verse pattern twice. I'm going to play through the pre-chorus twice and the chorus pattern once. Okay, just to give you an idea with this. And like I said, you can pretty much take those 3 patterns and cycle them through the song. Like there's some variations that they use, but I find that especially when you're starting out, this is like a really simple way to get through the song. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to count us in. Again, about 1, 2, 3, 4. The intro on G for 2 patterns, C add 9, and D, and I'm going to repeat it. G for 2, C add 9 to D. Now the pre-chorus, E minor, D, C, G2. I'm going to repeat it again. E minor, D, C, and G2. And the chorus, E minor to G. Again, E minor to G. And finally, E minor, D. And Okay, so that's a really quick way to get the Green Day song, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life together. Um, and if you've got any questions on it, in terms of like some of the variations, I can go over that with you. But that's sort of like a quick, sort of a fast-tracked way to get you up and playing that song, all right? I hope that helped. And again, my name's Brian McIntyre, and thanks a lot for tuning in.